So this is why God sent the worldwide flood and destroyed everyone and everything. And this is why the return of Jesus is closer than you think. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I'm a tattooed preacher. In this video, I want to talk about something that is very controversial, but very, very important. This is not just some kind of conspiracy theory. This is not just some kind of outlandish clickbait topic. This is something that if you know, you know. And I want to make sure that everybody who's going to watch this video knows. And so I want to talk about human animal hybrids. All right. This is not a hoax, man. This is not made up stuff. So over the last number of decades, I would say this topic has been lingering kind of beneath the surface. But in recent years, and especially since there's been the whole disclosure that's come out with aliens in the alien abduction program, which has centered around the hybridization of alien human hybrids. This whole idea of amalgamating, putting together, splicing DNA and mixing, human and animal DNA. It's nothing new, but it's becoming more and more mainstream now, which I find very fascinating and very, very enlightening. Now, one report that I just stumbled across that kind of led me to make this video was by Famous Pulse. And they said Japan is going to allow scientists to create human-animal hybrids. And they go on to say Japan has recently announced plans to allow scientists to create human-animal hybrids for research purposes. This decision is set to pave the way for groundbreaking advancements in medical and scientific fields, such as organ transplantation and disease study. While it raises ethical concerns, the potential to save lives and improve human health is a driving factor behind this controversial move. The hybrid research could provide insights into regenerative medicine, offering new possibilities for treatments that were once thought impossible. As technology and ethics evolve, Japan's decision could spark global debates about the future of science and the boundaries of human innovation. So basically, what they're saying is that Japan's going to embark on this controversial procedure, but the purposes are for the benefit of humanity, to find better, more innovative medicines and procedures and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're painting this in a positive light. Now, if you've been following this channel for any length of time, you know that I am a Christian. And I've done a number of videos on this subject, but if you haven't seen any or heard of this whole idea of human-animal hybrid goes way back, thousands of years, to biblical times. In particular, the account we see in Genesis chapter 6 that precipitated the flood. This is why this is a big deal. Now, just go with me for a second. I want to just do a short summary of what happened to explain why this is a massive deal, why it's not a good thing, and why this is what I believe to be a massive marker at pointing to the fact that Jesus is coming back sooner than we think. So Genesis 6, we have this account where it says sons of God, these divine beings, angels, whatever term you want to use there, came down and they mated with human women to create a hybrid offspring known as the Nephilim, who then turned out to be the giants. And you go through all human history, every civilization, every culture, stories about giants. And these are men of renown. These were ancient civilizations that dominated the earth. And they're part human, part divine. Now, they didn't just stop there. If you read other ancient manuscripts that describe this time period, for example, the book of First Enoch talks about how it wasn't just divine human hybridization, but what they were in fact doing was then they were trying to take divine DNA, supernatural DNA, and mixing it with animals. So they were trying to splice, and this is where you get all the ancient folklore of the satyrs, the centaurs, the minotaurs, part human, part animal hybrids. And so I don't think that was myth. I think that actually took place, that they were actually creating these demonic beings, part human, part animal. And so like this goes way back then, and it's in this world that God looked down and was like, you know what? This has gone too far. Humanity has crossed the bounds of what I've established, and I got to wipe everything out before everything gets contaminated. And this is why when you read in Genesis 6 talking about Noah, how it says he was blameless in his generations. It's not talking about he was perfect. He was without sin. It's that his DNA, his bloodline was not corrupted. And it was from his bloodline that the Messiah, that Jesus was going to come from. And this is what the enemy's been trying to do ever since the Garden of Eden. When Adam and Eve fell, they ate the fruit, and God pronounced judgment on the serpent and on them. There's a seed war that began to take place. And the devil, the enemy, knew that from the seed of the woman was going to be someone who was going to come who was going to crush him. And so his plan was to corrupt the DNA. And he almost did it before the flood. It was only Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives. Now, again, there's speculation as to how this made it past the flood, because we see Nephilim appear after the flood. But the point is, it was Noah and his family that were the only ones who were not corrupted, that were left on the earth. This is why God wiped everything out and had to save, and just saved them, because they were messing with the human DNA, but they were messing with the animal kingdom as well, trying to create these divine, so like part divine, part animal hybrids, mixing animal with animal, trying to create these creatures. And this is why some people, I'm not saying I hold to this, but some people suggest that this is where dinosaurs came from, like the T-Rexes and the dinosaurs that are like just hell bent on death and killing people and killing things and all that. They were the result of these splicing DNA, trying to create these creatures. Again, that's one theory that I've heard. But this is what precipitated the flood. The DNA was becoming corrupt. God had set life to function in these boundaries, and those boundaries had just got obliterated. So God was like, we got to do a massive reset and start everything over. Now it's interesting. Jesus says this in Matthew. He's talking about his return. He says, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be at the coming of the Son of Man. As it was in the days of Noah, the days that led up to the flood. It wasn't just that everybody was just sinning really bad. Wasn't that the whole earth was just full of people who were just really bad? That's always been the case. But there was something that marked that generation that preceded the flood that we're going to see again. And so when we see this human-animal hybrid where mankind is deciding to take the place of God again, to go in and start fooling around with things that's outside of the bounds, that's biblically illegal, This is why God sent the flood. And now humanity is starting to really ramp up and digging into crossing species, crossing human and animal, violating the created order that God has established. It's no. And this is why I think we keep going down this road. It's like speeding up the return of Jesus. Because where do you stop after this? Once you go down this road, you can say, oh, it's just for science. It's for the benefit of humanity. No, this is where it's just like you go down this road, there's no going back. And it's a steep, steep drop off to complete destruction. You can start all innocent. You can start all like, oh, it's just for the benefit of humanity. No. You start violating the created order, it does not end well. And you start opening yourself up to a whole bunch of stuff, and it goes really bad. And so when I saw this article, it's just like, wow, like they're doing this right now. Like this is what was happening before the flood. And Jesus said, as it was in those days, so shall it be when I return. This is happening now. This is happening right now. It's beginning. Scientists are beginning to try to mix human and animal, and it's not good. So beware, be alert, be in prayer, and let me know down below what y'all think of this subject. Let's start a conversation. I would love to know your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching this video. Have an awesome rest of your day or evening, and we'll see you in the next one. Much love, and God bless.